Who is the king of the south? Well, it's interesting that if I were to name this, I couldn't have come up with something better. He's the king of the 1040 lateral. Did you know that Muslim power is all based in the northern latitudes of 10 degrees to 40 degrees? The dominant base of all of Muslim people is between the 10th and 40th latitude that extends from Atlantic, where they have the moratorium, the Muslims control moratoria, and it extends all the way over to the west of Indonesia out in the Pacific, all along that 1040 lateral. And of course, the center of it is to the south of Israel, which is our prophetic base always, and that is Saudi Arabia, the center of their kingdom, which is Mecca and Medina. Now, that's the identity of this power, the sphere of power that will come with the king of the north. Verse 41, he will also enter the beautiful land, that's Israel, and many countries will fall, that is, those that are about Israel and those who support Israel. And he says, but these will be rescued out of his hand, Edom, Moab, and the foremost of the sons of Ammon. All of these tribes, which were forefathers of vast peoples that came out of them, all of them are Muslim today. And the mountains of Edom and Moab are to the east of Israel and extend down along the tip of the Red Sea that comes up to it's called the Gulf of Aqaba or the Gulf of Eilat today. And it's on the eastern side. And the sons of Ammon, well, we know who they are. The capital of Jordan is Ammon. That's because of the tribal name that was the forefather of most of those people. So, why are they spared? Well, interestingly enough, the one natural fortress where God could quickly herd believers from Israel and the surrounding places, those who believed in Jesus as Messiah, the one place that he could protect them, geographically speaking, is a place called Petra, which is right in the center of the mountains of Edom and the mountains of Moab. It is a natural fortress. I've been in there. You have to go over a mile through a narrow canyon that goes up as high as you, when you're riding a horse in there, as high as you can see it, weaves back and forth, and no army could easily come in there and take it. So Jesus said to flee to the mountains in Matthew 24 when they saw the abomination of desolation. I believe they know that they're to flee to that place that he'll protect them in the fortress of Petra. And I believe that's why he spares those people, because he's going to, another scripture says, when this army comes into that area, that the earth is going to open its mouth and swallow them up. Well, he's going to cause a great earthquake to swallow the army that's kind of trying to go to Petra and kill them. That's his protection. When the king of the south goes in there, they're going to, with the king of the north, they're going to sweep through, and it says, then he will stretch out his hand. Now, remember, in verse 41, it says, he will also enter the beautiful land. There's another one of those pronouns that has to be identified by the context. The last power to be identified before he, in verse 41, is the king of the north. So it's talking about the king of the north will enter Israel. With many countries it will fall under his foot. And then verse 42, it's still he, the king of the north, will stretch out his hand against other countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape. You see, apparently not all Muslim nations are going to put themselves under the command of the Persians or the Iranians. There'll still be some independent powers within Islam that won't be part of that. And they will not come riding in their and swarming all over Israel and through that part. Egypt will probably be the power that takes charge over the black African and the northern African peoples called Cush and Put, progenitors of races there. Cush is the progenitor of all black Africans. Put is the forefather of the peoples along the northern Mediterranean that are known as Libyans. They are the Algerians, Moroccans, Mauritanians, and they're all descendants of Put. So apparently, Ezekiel chapter 38 indicates that they will be a separate power that will be fighting. They come to Egypt and they take over, and it says he will gain control over all the hidden treasures of gold and silver and over all the precious things of Egypt. And Libyans and Ethiopia, the original word is what I was talking about. Put is the word translated Libyans. But Put was a forefather of many more peoples than Libya. It was all that I explained about the northern part. Ethiopia is the translation of Cush. Cush was the father of all black Africans, not just Ethiopians. Apparently they will be under siege by this northern confederacy with Iran. But in verse 44 it says, but rumors, or actually battle intelligence would be a better word, but battle intelligence from the east and from the north will disturb him, that is the king of the north, and he will go forth with great wrath to destroy and annihilate the many, meaning Israel. And he will pitch the tents of his royal pavilion, this means his command headquarters, between the seas and the beautiful holy mountain. Yet he will come to his end, and no one will help him. All right, now here's the point. Here's where those other spheres of power come in. He receives intelligence from the east that troubles him, and intelligence from the north that trouble him. Well, where is the king of the north's power right then? Where is his leadership? Where is his commander? He's in Egypt. So if you look to the east of Egypt, you're looking toward Asia. And if you look to the north of Egypt, you're looking at Rome and the revived Roman Empire. So I'd be troubled too, because it is the Antichrist of Rome, the first beast of Revelation 13, 1 through 10, the one who comes out of the whore of Babylon, the city that's called the whore of Babylon, the city of the seven mountains, and so forth. All of this figures in that the king or the Antichrist, who will be the world leader, will apparently muster the troops of the West and be coming in to cut off the king of the north and the king of the south's supply lines. And so he quickly retraces his steps back to Israel, and he sets up his command headquarters in order to fight the last war of the world in Jerusalem. Because when he says it would be between the two seas on the beautiful holy mountain, well, that's the sea of the Dead Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and in the center is the Temple Mount. And that's where he'll set up his headquarters. From there, there will be the final part of the War of Armageddon. You see, I'd be troubled too if I got battle intelligence from the east while I'm exposed with a long supply line down in Egypt. Because Revelation chapter 9, and is mentioned again in verse 16, talks of a power that comes from the east of the Euphrates. And in ancient times, everything east of the Euphrates was Asia. And they're called the kings of the east in Revelation 16:12. It says an army of 200 million Asian soldiers are going to come into the Holy Land and fight. They cross the Euphrates miraculously and race into battle. And that's another sphere of power, a power that can field 200 million soldiers. At the time the book of Revelation was written, there weren't 200 million people in the world. Yet he said there'd be 200 million soldiers.